So we haven't checked in with Sadiq Khan for quite some time, and I thought we would because I follow him on social media, because of course I do, and he is a very confused man. That's just the only way I can describe him. Very confused. He doesn't know what he is, doesn't know what he's doing, where he's going, but he's definitely being harassed online by racists. And so I thought I'd add to that. I'm of course joking. Do not harass Sadiq Khan online. Just come and watch us laugh at him. But the thing is, Sadiq Khan is a product of modern Britain because it wasn't always like this way. We didn't always have a person like Sadiq Khan in charge of the capital city. It used to be that Britain was a British country, and we covered this in this premium hangout we did on doesnt, how Britain has changed, where we go through just the footage. If you just look at the city, I mean, like actually physically look at it, and then look at it now, you can see how different it is. And it is, as it says, within living memory.
Also just the aspect that London used to be England's capital.
Yes.
And now it might be in your textbook, but in reality, no one in England thinks of that as like the shining example.
Well, interestingly, now it's not the capital of England. Now it is one of the outposts of the global order.
Yeah.
And Sadiq Khan represents that global order. And he seems to be aware that he's a part of this global order. And this is what I think is confusing him. Because, I mean, there's a quote from Sadiq that I find hilarious. There was a clip of it, but I couldn't find the clip. But the clip of it is him saying, "I'm a proud Londoner, a Brit, a European, of Pakistani heritage, and a Muslim. We all have multiple layers of identity. That's what makes us who we are." So, yeah, but some of these seem a bit conflicting.
100% conflicting, one might say.
A Pakistani European.
Pakistani European Brit Londoner. Eh?
Yeah. So this is the point. Sadiq seems to be completely confused. And in his very progressive way, where he wants to make everything inclusive, it forces him to try and be everything to everyone. And so, say, come around St. George's Day. Should we have a look?
I dread to think what he did.
Posts on his Instagram. "Today, once again, we brought St. George's Day celebrations to the heart of our country's capital city. It was wonderful to honour everything that makes England the country we are today. To everyone celebrating St. George's Day, I had a great day and hope you do too." I mean, at least they've got some English people. I mean, okay, fine. It's progressive.
Spoke too soon.
Yeah, okay.
I was about to say, looking at this, not to be rude, but this doesn't look like a field on St. George's Day where you take your kids and have fun.
But then they are in London. So.
No, this looks more like when it's Oktoberfest, and in London you can go and see Oktoberfest themed stuff, right?
Yeah.
It looks like, again, the Londoners interacting with a foreign culture.
Yes, it does. That's a great way of putting it. It looks very much like Londoners interacting with a foreign culture. But yeah, so he's a proud Englishman now. Yeah, that was the next one. I think so. Oh, no.
All right, well, it doesn't matter. We've already read it.
Yeah. I was going to go on to that. It was on the Instagram link. But that's fine. Go back to that one then. As he also followed this up with, quote, "I'm proud to be English. I'm proud to be British, proud to be European, proud to be of Asian origin and Pakistani heritage." Doesn't make any sense, Sadiq, because Pakistani being an ethnic origin is the same as English being an ethnic origin. May I agree?
I mean, what, are both his parents Pakistani? Or?
Yes, of course they are. So how is he's claiming to be English? I mean, if he said culturally English, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably born and raised in England.
Probably says in it, bruv, and all that.
yeah. And you know, he's certainly British. You know, he's a product of Britain. But he's not, like, ethnically English. And it's weird how he seems to be claiming, in a way, to be ethnically English, which I just find very peculiar. Especially as I think on any other given day, he'd be like, St. George's Day. But like you were saying, it seems like they're kind of like, oh, look at this strange, quaint folk culture from this foreign country. Yeah. You know, let's get them doing their little dances. It's like,
I mean, if we can go back to the footage just to show people more, which is just, I mean, really look at it. Like, it really does look like it's Oktoberfest, and there's like this could be German people celebrating St. George's Day in my mind.
And that's the aspect of the global order, isn't it? Like on every particular little, like, you know, quaint folk culture gets their own little day, and this is the one for the English, apparently, with that guy dancing in a dress. But the thing is, he makes the Conservatives sound based, which is just always amusing to me. If we can go on to the tweet, where it's complaining. Oh, conservatives and Zach Goldsmith ran an Islamophobic campaign against me, but we will continue to tell non-Muslims that Islam is about peace and coexistence. Says Sadiq Khan. We're going to continue to lie to non-Muslims.
In London as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of terrorist attacks London's been through from the religion of peace and coexistence, as Sadiq puts it.
I just can't stop staring at his gigantic nose.
It is rather large.
It's colossal.
Yeah.
Like the height didn't. He's really short. But his nose is really big. It's really strange.
This isn't a pet peeve either. Like, it really is abnormal. It's not normal.
Anyway, he's also a Muslim, of course, as he said, and. That was what I put
I mean, now that you see it, like, you can't get it out of your mind.
I mean,
it's a side note. It's a side note. Look, there are ugly
the
people out there.
absolute beak on Sadiq Khan.
He's one of them.
But anyway, he's a Muslim, and so with his fellow co-religionists, went down to London for Ramadan iftar. Doesn't Trafalgar Square look beautiful? I mean, I guess.
And this is what I mean. That's just where they were, I believe.
A second ago with the St. George.
It's a local, let's engage in the foreign culture and buy some trinkets at this market.
And that's the thing, because Sadiq Khan isn't really even authentically a Muslim. Like, he's like, well, I'm Pakistani Muslim. It's like, yeah, okay, so do something Muslim. And it's like, huh. But anyway, let's, he says, here in London, we celebrate and embrace our diversity. We now go to the average Sadiq Khan voter to see what that celebration inclusion looks like. If we can play the clip.
You know what? 6 million size of London.
Here we have a Holocaust denier.
You want me to believe you are a liar? 6 million people size of London.
What do you think of Hitler?
Hitler?
Yeah.
He's a good man. He throw you out because he's making trouble.
I'm voting Sadiq.
We celebrate our diversity.
Yeah, I mean, that is the message. Diversity is our strength, and what does diversity bring you?
Pakistanis who endorse Adolf Hitler, apparently.
Yeah.
But anyway, the thing is, Sadiq Khan is not actually a fan of Islam. And that's one thing that I didn't really expect to see. He says, well, I'm deeply concerned to hear reports that women in Afghanistan will be forced to wear a veil. These men in power should concern themselves with keeping women and girls safe, not policing what they wear. It's like, Sadiq, are you familiar with Islam?
They are keeping women and girls safe by giving them the veil.
That's literally the purpose in the Quranic injunctions that Sadiq Khan appears to be deeply unaware of.
Like, they're concealing their beauty so they don't get abused. That's the point. That's the argument made by the Islamists.
Well, it's not just the argument made by the Islamists. There's literally quotes from the Quran, which we have now, right? So in the Quran, from Surah 33:59, quote, "O Prophet, tell your wives and daughters that the women of the believers to draw their cloaks and veils all over their bodies. That will be better. They should be known as so not to be annoyed." Other translations have that as like harassed, abused.
Basically, the Quran, well, Islam views Muslim men as not really capable of...
they're not in control of their sexual desires. It's up to women.
No, Islam believes that their male followers are essentially animals who will attack women at the first sight.
Yeah, that's exactly what they think. And so this one is, the
warning.
The warning that a woman could bring sexual abuse on herself if she's not properly covered. There's, of course, another one. I won't go into the quotes too long, but the woman is supposed to cover herself except when she's with relatives, and also to look down as to avoid making eye contact with men. The exact quote, in fact, is, "Say to the believing women that they cast down their looks and guard their private parts and do not display their ornaments except what appears thereof, and let them wear their head coverings over their bosoms and not display their ornaments except to their husbands or their fathers." So, I mean, it's literally in the Quran. There is another one as well that says that a woman can present herself without a veil only to family and slaves. So it's like, Sadiq's
the normal thing.
Yeah, Sadiq's
when you go home to your slaves and you can relax finally.
Well, yeah, but, I think that it's fair to say it's an argument from the time.
Okay.
1963 in Saudi Arabia.
But when it's also the perfect word of God and can't be changed to this modern day.
That's true. But so him being like, well, I can't believe in Afghanistan the Taliban are making women cover up. It's like, what? Like, do you not know anything about Islam? Have you ever been to a mosque?
Have you ever checked out your own campaign to cover up women on the tube?
Well, that's where I was going next, because incidentally, progressivism and Islam have actually synchronized on this point. Cover up whore was, I think, the exact quote from Sadiq Khan.
Probably.
Might be a bit of a mistranslation, I don't know. But in 20...
His campaign slogan is in Urdu.
Well, it may as well be.
Yeah, well, there are this isn't even a joke.
What was
we're
it?
not
Tower Hamlets has got the Urdu bloody train station.
Yeah, we're not even taking the mickey. Like,
Yeah.
Labour campaigners on the regular go out and campaign in Urdu. Not just on the written, but also in speeches.
Yeah. But anyway, so this was in 2016 when he pulled the Beachbody Ready adverts for being, I think it was anti-feminist.
Sure, we'll go with that one for now.
Yeah. He said, as the father of 2 teenage girls, I'm extremely concerned about this kind of advertising which can demean people, particularly women, and make them ashamed of their bodies. It's high time it came to an end. So he's arrived at the Islamic position from the other direction. It's like, well, we don't want men assaulting women, so they've got to cover up. Oh, we don't want women feeling bad, so they've got to cover up. And it's incredible. It's just like, look, either way, men have to control women's bodies in some way. So Sadiq Khan... going back on that is somewhat ironic.
Yeah. It was also that this woman here, her body is literally impossible to become.
Yes.
It is an unrealistic beauty standard. However, it was then revealed that there was no editing whatsoever. She was just a bit of a fitness freak.
Yeah, she was a vegan fitness freak. Yes. But he was like, I want to send a clear message to the advertising industry about this. What?
We don't allow women on posters.
Yeah. If she was wearing a burqa, he would have had literally nothing to say.
Yeah, I mean, whoever made the poster, honestly, should have just reshopped it, deleted her, and put the same thing back up.
Yeah.
And be like, by order of Sadiq Khan.
Yeah. Anyway, so Sadiq's been out on tour in America for some reason, hanging out with the evil queen herself, the evil stepmother. Such a pleasure to meet Hillary Clinton in New York today
Please don't shoot me.
to discuss a range of pressing issues facing London.
Yeah.
What's she got to do with pressing issues in London, Sadiq?
Well, the American elite.
Colony of the global order, I know. He met Mike Bloomberg as well, which must have been weird. At least at least they could look eye to eye. They're both midgets.
Are they?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at them. It's like, quick, do a low shot. It's like, look, I'm not sure I can get that far down. But unironically, Sadiq Khan's like 5'4".
The photographer was in the ground at this point.
Anyway, so Sadiq was like, yeah, I think decriminalizing cannabis would be a great idea. If you get the next one, it's just like, yeah, he's open-minded about it. It's like, Sadiq, it's not your bloody choice. You're the mayor of London, not the king of England. Yet. But anyway, Priti Patel replied to this being like, Sadiq's time would be better focused spent on knife and drug crime in London. The mayor has no power to legalize drugs. They ruin communities, tear apart families, and destroy lives. So I love the just ultra-conservative smack on the head from Priti Patel there. It's like, listen.
Learn your place.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you have no power
Yeah.
in this regard.
Exactly. There are so many different layers to this, right? It's institutional hierarchy right there. It's like, know your place, Sadiq. You're the mayor of London, not part of the government. You have no power in this regard. Also, social conservatism. Drugs are bad. They're bad for kids. They ruin communities. Just layers of conservatism from Priti Patel there. That's a good thing to see. Good thing to see. Anyway, so on his whirlwind tour of America, Sadiq Khan carried on whining about Trump. Love it.
Of course.
Of course he did.
Yes.
He claims that he received 233,000, quote, explicitly racist or racialized social media messages since being elected mayor of London in 2016.
What does that mean? What's a racialized message?
Well, who knows?
I mean, it's saying we have our first black gay woman in the White House. That's a racialized message.
I'm absolutely certain that every single one of them would have come from Mexico, though.
Yeah. I think it's
sent from an iPhone in Mexico.
What's the map? It's like we've done the study and identified the 4 most racist countries on Earth. It's Mexico, India, the Philippines,
Argentina.
and Argentina. That's where all the white supremacists come from, who are screeching, "I am white."
But so Khan blamed a 1,892% rise in abuse to Donald Trump's election as US president. Because, of course, they had a feud in 2017 when Trump criticized him over his response to the London Bridge terror attacks.
Yeah, rightfully.
Because Sadiq Khan was like, I have no idea about Islam. Why would they do this? Why would my fellow Muslims do this? I'm going to have to pick up a Quran sometime.
Trump was like, sort yourself out.
Yeah. So he says, during those 4 years he was president, that led me to having to receive police protection and a lot of racial abuse. In the last year of him being president, once he was banned from Twitter, I received the least racial abuse over any time over the last 5 years. On the one hand, social media, Facebook and Twitter are great. On the other hand, it's the consequence of a lack of control and a lack of regulation. So, of course, Sadiq doesn't want Trump to come back on Twitter.
No, he doesn't want anyone on Twitter that doesn't agree with him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, if you go to the next one, he called on Elon Musk to think again about allowing Donald Trump back on Twitter after revealing the extent of the online abuse he suffered. It's like, Sadiq, I know you're a midget, but you're not a woman. Like, that's not going to work.
Man up.
Yeah, exactly. Man up.
But also, I can't stand this rhetoric. This idea that, like, don't you know that I had to have police protection as the mayor of London because of threats made against me from random people? It's like, yeah, now imagine if you were a random individual who criticized Islam and then had to have your own protection and endless threats made against you.
Now imagine if you were Sir David Ames, who didn't receive any threats on social media.
No, I imagine that everyone who deals with anything controversial has to end up with this situation. It's not new.
People in positions of authority have to be responsible to the public.
And you have to deal with horrible things in public life, but that is the game. That is a horrible part of reality there.
Yeah.
But then the idea that the response to that is that anyone who criticizes me should be banned from social media. I mean, could you imagine if someone made the same argument? Be like, well, I said this thing about religion, and now I'm getting loads of religious grief from certain countries, so we'll just ban all the Muslims. I mean, imagine if someone said that.
I mean, that's literally what Trump did with his Muslim ban.
That's from social media.
It's from even entering the country.
Yeah, well, too many terrorists.
Yeah, so Sadiq Khan was at Stanford University in California as part of this 5-day tour of the US. Of course, in that period of time, Elon Musk came out and said, actually, the Twitter ban on Trump was morally wrong and foolish in the extreme, and he would reverse it. He didn't add to whether he thought it was a good thing that Sadiq Khan's racial abuse went up and down with Trump's ban, but if it's morally wrong when Trump's banned, it must be morally right.
I don't think that follows.
I don't know. But anyway, he if you get to the next one, he has publicly asked Elon Musk to consider readmitting the former president. Let's wait and see if Donald Trump has learned his lesson. It's like he wasn't actually banned for being racist to you online, Sadiq.
Because he never was.
No, he wasn't. But he wasn't banned for that. And so, he didn't even get banned for calling you an annoying midget. Like, I'm pretty sure he did do that as well. So Donald Trump's like 6'2" or something, so he can do it. But anyway, the bad news for Sadiq Khan, though, is that Twitter terms of service have already been updated. These aren't even enforced yet, right? Apparently this new terms of service effect will take effect on 10th of June, 2022. And they say now, this is new, quote, any use or reliance on content or materials posted via the services or obtained by you through the services is at your own risk. You can be treated like an adult. We do not endorse, support, represent, or guarantee the completeness, truthfulness, or accuracy or reliability of any content or communication posted via the service or endorse any opinions expressed via the service. You understand that by using the service, you may be exposed to content that might be offensive, harmful, inaccurate, or otherwise inappropriate, or in some cases, postings that have been mislabeled or are otherwise deceptive. All content is the sole responsibility of the person who originated such content. We may not monitor or control the content posted via the services, and we cannot take responsibility for such content. So Twitter is being moved suddenly and strictly in line with Section 230 protections, and Sadiq Khan is getting BTFO'd entirely. Sadiq, if you don't like it, don't use the service, is Twitter's position.
I love Elon Musk.
God, love to see it.
I mean, I know there has been an unbelievable amount of praise of him, but frankly,
he's earned it. Let's be honest.
He has done more than any single individual has in quite some time
to make Sadiq Khan grind his teeth. But yeah, so that's just a roundup of what's been happening with Sadiq Khan. We haven't checked in on him in a while, so I thought we would.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as this video that Carl did, what Zoomers have to do to save themselves. And if you want to follow him on Getter, you can also follow him on Getter at Carl Benjamin on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.